Have you ever asked yourself this question? Will I ever become a profitable trader? I know it's run across in my mind many times. Whether you've been trading for 3 years, 30 days, or longer, I'm sure I have some tips that can help you become the trader that you always know you can be. Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm a futures trader and I have been trading the futures markets for about a year now and overall been trading for 3 years. I believe I have some tips and tricks that can help you become a profitable trader. Let's get straight into the video. This is a question I know we've all asked ourselves at one point in our trading career. Is it too late for me to become profitable? I just kind of want to give a little bit of introduction about myself. I'm a former NFL athlete and decided to actually leave the NFL to pursue trading. Yeah, it definitely sounds crazy, but it's not. It's something that, I'd been playing football my entire life and something just felt off for me and, I wanted to try something different. And that's when trading came into my life. And we all know that trading looks a lot easier than it actually is. So now we'll go over a little bit of kind of how I'm going to break this down. I'm going to talk about overcoming the biggest trading obstacles. I'm going to talk about the turning point in my journey, resources that changed the game for me, managing losses and emotions, and achieving long-term consistency in trading. The things that we all struggle with as traders until you get to a point where you know how to deal with them. It's not that they ever go away. So overcoming some of my biggest trading obstacles. For me, it was impatience, greed, and fear. The second thing for me was trying to find the holy grail system, as we all do, the golden system that's always going to work, that's always going to make us money, that's always going to do exactly what we want, and we're never going to lose. The third thing for me was the fear of missing out, FOMO, and overtrading. And the fourth thing for me was I lacked a reliable trading model. So to kind of talk a little bit about this, the impatience, the greed, and the fear, it came from social media and also trading before I was ready to actually put on a real trade. So I had made money early on, not knowing exactly what I was doing. And it then came to a point where I did get the inflated head, or you can say King Kong syndrome. And that's when everything went downhill for me, where I couldn't make any money, where I was losing a whole bunch of money. And nothing was consistent for me. And so that's what led to the system hopping, where I kept going from this system to that system, trying this and trying that. It'd work for a little bit and then it would fail. Then it worked for a little bit and then it would fail. And I kept getting caught up in that same cycle over and over and over again. Again, that led to fear, FOMO, and overtrading. So I didn't want to miss a move because every time I went on social media, every time I saw someone or talked to someone, they were always making money. Whether that's true or not, I can't attest for that. But I just know in my eyes, it always looked like they were making money. And I was not. So I had to always be in front of the charts so that I was able to make the trades and make the money that everyone else says that they were making, whether it was true or not. And then the thing, which ultimately the conclusion was, I lacked a reliable trading model. I had models I didn't even test or back test, and we're using them in live markets with money that I, one, even couldn't afford to lose. And that was some things that were my biggest trading obstacles in the beginning that just held me back. And they were things that I was not willing to address or even fix. Here's a quote I want to talk about because I think it's very important. History never repeats itself, man always does. And this is by Voltaire. And I think that this is a very, very impactful quote. Because sometimes we find ourselves doing the same thing, but then saying history always repeats itself. But it's always we or the person who's consistently doing the same thing as time passes. And so we make the assumption that history is just repeating while we have never changed as time has continued to move on or move forward. With that, there was a big, big turning point in my journey. And it was September of this year. I blew my Top Step account again. And it came to a point where I was like, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep, trading this way, or it's not going to sustain me long term. Like, this is not something that I can continue to do. So I had this realization. I was like, I need to change my habits and approach trading professionally. I can't keep treating trading like a casino, and I need to start treating it more like a business, because this is a business. It's not a casino where I just go and I throw money randomly, which is what I was doing before, even when I knew a lot. That is what continued to hold me back from being the profitable, consistent trader that I wanted to be. So there were a lot of changes I needed to make. I had to transition from a gambler's mindset to a business mindset. I had to realize that success requires consistency and rules. And then the third thing that was big for me was learning to know when enough is enough, because that is always when I blew my account. When I couldn't take the loss, I would blow it. When I wanted to make more money, I would blow it. So it was understanding that, okay, this is enough for today, this is enough for right now, and I can walk away. Those were always the turning points. When I could not do that is when it always went down. The third one always came back up, is I could not understand and I couldn't accept when enough was enough. So here are some of the biggest resources that helped change my game. When I was in the ICT 2021 paid mentorship, and you know how that goes. You try to binge watch everything and do everything all at once, and you know how that never works. And those were things that I was trying to do. But the biggest one for me out of those two was the 2024 mentorship. And that's what really shifted my perspective and actually made me do the things that I should have been doing back in 2021. So I had skipped steps throughout the 2021 mentorship. I went through all the videos. I binge watched it like Netflix. And I got to the end and I knew all this information, but I never knew how to apply it because I didn't do it properly in the order of the things of how I should have done it. Also, the dedication to marking charts and understanding candlesticks with a purpose rather than just doing it. So before I was just kind of doing it. It's like, okay, I'll do here, I'll do that. And early on, you're really good at marking up charts. You're like, okay, I'm gonna do this and do this. And then at some point it gets boring and you don't really see any improvement. And that's what was happening to me. I didn't see any improvement in trading. So I'm like, well, this isn't useful for me. So I'm just gonna go try it in live action. And that's what you hear everyone talk about, is always going to do it live. But if you don't practice before, you don't know what it looks like, you don't understand what you're doing, you're just setting yourself up for failure for no reason. And then there are some books that I read, Trading Beyond the Matrix, The Psychology of Money, which is amazing. If you have not read that book, you need to read it. Trading in the Zone and Trading for a Living. Those were other books that also helped me in my progression. And then here are some YouTube channels. Myron Golden has nothing to do with trading, just more of a mindset and how you like moving forward. I could even put Tony Robbins on there. I didn't add him in there, but now just thinking about it, that's who I could add on there. And then Tanya Trades. I think she does a good job. I learned some stuff from her videos that have nothing to do with actual trading. It's more things outside of the charts that I learned. A lot of things that come up when talking about being consistent as a trader is managing losses and emotions. You have to learn to accept that losses are a part of the game. Losses are a part of trading. If you cannot accept losing, you will never be profitable in this game. You can't. It is a game where there are wins and losses. That's how you play. Some key practices are, back testing and forward testing. Back testing, going back in old moves and looking for your specific setup. Not what anyone else is doing on YouTube or Twitter or wherever it is, looking at what you are looking for. I would sometimes go into charts looking for my setup in other people's trades. Never worked. That never worked for me. Going back and back testing, looking for your specific thing. Understanding when you look at it, and even if you're back testing and you see a good setup, but your specific setup or model is not there, understanding that it's okay. And you don't need to try to force something to be there when it's just not there for you that day. And that's okay. But what I found was when I would go back and back test, and earlier on, I didn't understand or didn't see that my model was there. And then as I got better, I could see my model there because I knew what I was looking for. I wasn't just looking for anything. You want to know, my model is the breaker setup, and that's my favorite model. That's what I look for. The first model I really found consistency with, and then what happened? I was system hopping back and forth, ultimately to come back to the same model that I found in 2021 that I liked. That was the one that was best for me. Something that my girlfriend said to me, I was practicing trading and I was like, wow, I just made, it was like $150. And she was like, wow, that's really good. People don't make that working 8 hours a day. And that for me changed everything. I was like, wow, I'm trying to sit out here and make thousands of dollars every single day. To be honest, in the beginning, that's hard if you don't know what you're doing. After 3 years, it's like I wasn't making consistently $100, but I was trying to go for 1,000. And all that did was slow down my process of where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And so when she said that to me, that changed everything. Even if I just made $150 a day, that's considered above minimum wage. I don't have to work another job ever in my life. Just doing that, only that. I could replace any job out there just doing that. When it comes to achieving consistency in trading, we have to do 3 things, I believe. It's returning to the basics. Write down and test setups in detail. You need to understand your statistics. You need to understand what you're looking for. Can you draw out your model? Can, if someone looks at it and knows anything about trading, can they look and say, okay, I know what's kind of going on here? The second thing, you need to collect stats. Time or duration in trades, drawdown, pips/handles, etc. How long are you in the trades normally? What time do your trades normally occur? Are there news events happening around or before? Do you know how often you're in drawdown normally in good trades? Do you know how often you're in bad trades in drawdown? How deep do they go against you? Like, these are all things you need to know, because when you're in a trade and it comes to that point where it's like, do I close this trade? What I go to, instead of trying to rely on my emotions in the moment of hoping that it does this, I go back to the statistics that I have from running back testing and forward testing and doing all the things that I was doing to help me come to a conclusion. Like, okay, now this is getting a little bit longer. I'm going to close a trade now. And I had things to go back on because I measured the things that were important. So when I'm into a trade, I'm not trying to question or figure out what I'm supposed to do in this trade. I already know what I'm supposed to be doing in this trade. I don't get into a trade hoping and guessing and not knowing what I'm supposed to be doing. That's not how businesses are run. You don't just run a business and just hope everything happens. You don't just show up there in the office and just hope. There's a system of things that have to be in place. And you understand that, yes, sometimes the system fails, and that's okay as well. Like, imagine going to a store and then someone takes something or someone steals something from you. You don't go immediately to the distributor and try to buy 100 times of whatever was just stolen, because that doesn't make any sense. It's just a point. Someone stole. It's unfortunate, but the whole business doesn't crumble because someone stole one thing. It shouldn't be like that. And then also starting with small targets and scale up. $100 a day. If you can't do $100 a day, you're not doing $1,000. You're not doing $10,000 even in a month. If you can't even do $100 a day. So if you start small and work your way up, you're going to give yourself that cookie and understand that I can actually do this consistently, instead of trying to achieve or go for a target that's way out of your skill level right now. And then habits for building confidence. Journaling and reviewing your trades. That's going to be very, very big. If you know what you're looking for and you've seen it so many times, when it pops up, you're going to have the confidence to take the trade because you've seen it so many times. Even if you didn't take it live, you've talked about it in your journal, which have been positive. Even if you missed the trade that day, you talk about how you saw in advance, it came down to these levels, it was looking for this signature. Everything that ICT has taught me, I've used. Now, if you don't use ICT or don't listen to ICT, that's fine. But you need to be talking positively in your journal about the trades you took or did not take. Talk positively about them because your brain and your mind is going to remember those things. And then setting rules and sticking to them. If you cannot stick to your rules, you're not going to have any confidence because you're just aimlessly out there doing whatever you want to do. And it's just not going to help you in the long run. Again, we want to be a trader for years, not just a day, not just 1 year. We want to be a trader and be consistent for years, because that's how you're going to grow your overall capital, is if you're here for a long time and understand that long-term mentality. This right here is a superpower. Patience. Patience is a trader's superpower. I got inspired by ICT's patience. When I watched his 2024 mentorship, I watched how patient he was. It was not just going to take a trade just to appease or please someone else. He was waiting for something that he wanted to see. That was the biggest thing that I got from his mentorship. I knew a lot of the terminology. That wasn't the problem for me. The problem was patience. So I would end up getting into the trade too early because I didn't let it form. And then I get stopped out. And then I would try to get in again. I get stopped out again. And then when it finally forms, I have no ammo to trade because I'm so low, because I wasn't patient enough to wait for the setup that I should have been waiting for, because I wanted to get in early. Why? Instead of just waiting for the setup to show itself or to reveal itself to me, I wanted to get in before it showed itself. And that just always chopped at my P&L. And then the thing that also helped was gradual transition. So I did markups, paper trading, demo trading. I had never done that before. Even starting with ICT's 2021 mentorship, that's something that I did not do. This was the process that I went through to get to the point where now I am consistent. So how to be successful? These are the 6 things that I would say. Start slow. Don't rush for quick money. Understand you're here for the long term. So understand that you don't have to start risking money right away. Don't do what everyone is telling you to do in terms of how you need to start doing this and go get a funded account and do this and practice this. I promise. That's not how you become successful. I did those things and it didn't work for me. It's when I actually started slow and understood that I'm here for the long run, did I see those massive jumps that you want. Practice more than you play, right? We know that amateurs play more than they practice, while pros practice more than they play. Spend more time practicing and you will get the results that you want to when you're out there playing, or when you're trading live, or when you're trading on a funded account, whatever it is. The third thing, remember why you started. Sometimes we can forget when we're trading the reason why we started. That can end up hindering us from moving forward because we may get money blind, or maybe we're just going through a rough spot and we end up being low, almost want to give up. Those are things that I have even gone through, and I had to remember why I started. Fourth thing, reflect on what trading will allow you to achieve. If you understand that trading is just a tool that can help you achieve certain things, whether it's financial freedom, whether it's just time freedom, whether it's the ability to help other people financially. These are things that trading can offer, and it's something that anyone can achieve. Everyone doesn't achieve it because there's certain things that they have to work on within themselves. 5, success equals discipline, rules, and a long-term mindset. If you don't have discipline or rules, and you're in there for quick money, you will not be profitable. There's no other way around that. There's nothing that you're going to find. There's no one that's going to teach you. If you don't have these 3 things, and you could have a holy grail system, you will still not be profitable. And I can guarantee you that. And then 6, trading is rewarding but demands hard work. Certain things in life that may come easy, but this ain't one of them. Trading is going to be hard, but it's very rewarding at the end when you know how much work you've put in, the time that you put in. It also makes you a better person overall, because trading is a lot about everything that's going on in the mind has really nothing to do with what's going on in the chart. But really it's who you are as a person, and that's ultimately why you're not successful and you're not consistent, because there's things that you haven't dealt with or don't want to deal with, and they're showing up in trading. Trading can be reminding you of that. Here's a quote I just want to leave you guys with. A genius is the man who can do the average thing when everyone else around him is losing his mind. Napoleon. Again, thank you for listening to this YouTube video if you made it this far. I hope this YouTube video has helped you. If you enjoy this type of content, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate that, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.